Welcome to Ray Academy and welcome to my new live class. And in this class, friends, we are going to cover weekly current affairs. That means the week 4 of January 2022. And this class is presented by me, Prabhakar Jha. So first of all, very good evening, and I hope your preparation is going on right track. Okay. सो जैसे कि आप लोग को पता ही होगा कि इस सेशन में हम लोग क्या करने जा रहे हैं। वीक 4 जो आपका जनवरी का जो वीक 4 है उसके करंट अफेयर, लास्ट वीक का जो करंट अफेयर है, टॉप मोस्ट करंट अफेयर जो उसको मैं डिस्कस करने जा रहा हूँ। एंड फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल आई विल डिस्कस द टॉपिक्स एज पर द मेंस, ओके, एंड देन ऑल्सो आई विल ट्राई टू कवर द टॉपिक्स रिलेटेड टू प्रीलिम्स. So first of all, I will discuss the topics. There were Supreme Court's decision कि daughters to inherit father's self-acquired inherited properties to get preference over their. And then some next topic will be Supreme Court dismissal of Devas plea to help India in global arbitration. Also, we can leave this topic because this is not so much important. And after that, I will discuss the reciprocal exchange of logistic agreement, roadmap to India's strategic access in the Arctic, and RCP is one of the most important topics, Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, and then a closer look into the feminist foreign policy in India. This is very, very important for your, you can say, general studies and also for your political science and international relation optional. And then I will try to cover Assam Meghalaya border disputes. Then MLA suspension, it is in news, and Supreme Court said that MLA suspension is danger to democracy. And interwater disputes for the prelims and also for mains, and why is India challenging WTO verdict on sugar? So these topics are related to mains. So let's start first of all topic related to the mains. So I told you that first topic will be what? The daughters to inherit father's self-acquired inherited properties to get preference over others according to Supreme Court. So first of all, we should know that these topics are related to which subject, what are the context of this subject, topics. So first of all, friends, try to keep in the mind these topics is related to polity, governance, and also you can say keep society paper, general studies paper 1 for UPSC. सो कॉन्टेक्चुअल की अगर आप बात करोगे, कॉन्टेक्स्ट की बात करते हैं तो द कंट्रोवर्शियल डील विद इंडियन डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ स्पेस कमर्शियल एंटिटी, व्हाट इज द नेम ऑफ द इंडियन डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ स्पेस कमर्शियल एंटिटी, एंड ट्रिक्स एंड बेंगलुरु बेस्ड स्टार्टअप देवास मल्टीमीडिया. सो दिस टॉपिक इज ऑल्सो रिलेटेड टू इंटरनेशनल. देवास मल्टीमीडिया हैज बीन अंडर द स्कैनर फॉर मोर देन अ डिकेड नाउ. And the recent judgments bolster the Union of India's case against Devas internationally, and especially against the arbitration award for Devas, and that is under consideration with Judiciary of Netherlands. So friends, you will have to prepare a topic, international court of justice, and there is also international criminal court. So try to cover this topic. I will discuss in upcoming classes. Okay. And basically, what is the background, friends? This case is related to you can say before 10 years. In 2005, and Trix Corporation, that is the Indian Department of Space Commercial Entity, and Trix Corporation, the government on commercial arm of ISRO signed an agreement with Bengaluru-based Devas Multimedia for a 12-year lease of 90% transponder space on 2 satellites. Which satellite? GSAT-6 and GSAT-6A. Okay, GSAT, geosynchronous launch satellite 6, and GSAT-6A. Okay, GSAT-6A. So please keep in the mind. And also we can say that were yet to be launched, and of the 150 megahertz of space that ISRO on in S-band spectrum, Devas was allowed to use the 70 megahertz to launch satellite-based application on mobile device. Basically, this case is related to we can say this case is related to the politician. Basically, also we can say before 2014 or before 2013, that means after 2008 to 2013, Okay, during the 2008 to 2013, there were lots of corruption, and this case is also related to the corruption. Okay, how also we can say that any company can exploit our resources. A spectrum, what is a spectrum? A spectrum is resources for Indian people, resources for the Indian government. Okay, and I told you of the 150 megahertz of space ISRO on in the S-band spectrum, Devas was allowed to allow the use of 70 megahertz to launch satellite-based application on mobile devices. And Devas, which had a few former Devas is also you can say organized company. And in Devas, there were a few former ISRO scientists in its top management, and also was supposed to pay 300 million to Antrix over 12 years. How many? 300, okay, million dollar also we can say over 12 years. Over 12 years. So what is the S-band spectrum? We should know for the prelims examination. हमें जानना चाहिए कि S-band spectrum है क्या? So S-band spectrum is extremely valuable for mobile broadband services. Please keep in the mind. S-band spectrum is extremely valuable. Okay, S-band is very, very important for mobile internet. For mobile internet. Okay, mobile internet. And also I can tell you in terms of usage as well as money, the frequency also known as 2 gigahertz band. What? 2 gigahertz, 2 GHz. Also we can say 2 gigahertz. Okay, gigahertz. And gigahertz band, and it is globally used for providing mobile broadband services using fourth generation technology such as WiMAX and LTE. LTE means, do you know about the fourth 4G? Okay, everyone may be using. You can say, okay, are you using 4G? Okay, so 4G also you can say 4G technology is LTE, and LTE stands for long term evolution, and it is less susceptible to rain fading compared to Ku and K bands. That means compared to 3G or compared to 2G. Also we can say, okay. And also, let's discuss about the deal, Devas deal. So deal was cancelled in 2011, and while doing so, the Indian government did not even invoke the national security clause. Please keep in mind, this is a very, very important point. Okay. Yes, Asmita. Any problem? PDF not saying. Is it? Do you have any problem related to screen? Are you able to see PPT? Everyone, can you tell me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, no problem. Thank you so much. Okay, so I was discussing about the deal.
Sir, the PPT shows another topic.
No, another topic. This is related to this topic. First of all, I'm discussing about the context and also the cases, because the context and case is not important. Important is what is the verdict of Supreme Court. So this is mentioned in PPT. Okay, and I'm trying to you can say deliver the points related to the context and the background. So we have discussed about the S-band and also the deal, and I told you the deal was cancelled in 2011, and while doing so, the Indian government did not even invoke the national security clause. And in 2011, the UPA, United Progressive Alliance 2 government, cancelled this agreement on the ground that it needed the S-band satellite spectrum for national security and other social purposes. And this led to arbitration between the Antrix commercial band or commercial arm of ISRO and Devas at the International Chamber of Commerce. What? International Chamber of Commerce. Please keep in the mind, International Chamber of Commerce, not International Cricket Council. And two bilateral investment treaty arbitration. And India lost all the three disputes. Okay. So we should know now what is the fact related to the International Commerce Chambers. Okay, this is very, very important for your prelims examination. सो इंटरनेशनल कॉमर्स चैम्बर जो है आपका एक वर्ल्ड का लार्जेस्ट बिजनेस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन वर्किंग ग्रुप है, जो कि प्रमोट करता है इंटरनेशनल ट्रेड को, एंड ये रिस्पॉन्सिबल होता है बिजनेस कंडक्ट को लेकर के. So ICC is the world's largest business organization and working to promote international trade and responsible business conduct. Responsible business conduct. Okay, responsible business conduct. And ICC has been helping to resolve difficulties in international commercial and businesses dispute to support trade and investment since 1923. Since 1923. So please keep in the mind. And where is the headquarters of the ICC, International Chamber of Commerce? Headquarters is Paris, France. Headquarters, Paris, and also you can say Paris in France. Okay, Paris, France. And also we should know what are the analysis portion of this topic. What were the reasons for the government cited for the scrapping of the deal? Will have to know what were the reasons. Okay, so basically we have discussed that government said that S-band okay will be used for the national security. And basically friends, in 2011 Antrix commercial arms of ISRO issued a termination notice to Devas was a company we have discussed, formed by the former ISRO chief and also former ISRO top scientist, and there were also partnership from the foreign country for an investor. So in 2011, Antrix issued a termination notice to Devas, and which among other things stated that the policy decision was of the central government and acting its sovereign capacity is the event of force, okay, majeure, M-A-G-E-U-R-E. You'll have to keep in the mind. What is the meaning of this? Maybe UPSC or state service will ask, okay. So please keep in the mind force majeure, that means unforeseeable circumstances that prevent someone from fulfilling a contract. So force majeure means एक ऐसा कंडीशन जो अनफोर्सिएबल हो जाता है जिसकी वजह से कोई कॉन्ट्रैक्ट पूरा नहीं किया जा सकता. And the finding of a draft audit report pointed out disparity including financial management, conflict of interest, non-compliance of rules, and favoritism in the deal. And the government also held that it needed the S-band satellite spectrum for national security and other social purpose. National security and other social purpose we have discussed. So we'll have to keep in the mind, not related to you can say na ki what did they ask to. This is not important for your examination, but we should know about the International Tribunal Arbitration, ITA, International Tribunal, ITA, International Tribunal. Also you can say ki, arbitration, International Tribunal Arbitration. Because friend, Devas Multimedia, okay, initiated arbitration against the annual at the International Chamber of Commerce, and under the bilateral investment treaty, okay, to separate arbitration were also initiated by the Mauritius investors in Devas Multimedia under the India-Mauritius bilateral investment treaty, and by the Deutsche Telekom, and Deutsche Telekom, a German company under the India, and Germany also, and you can say under Germany bilateral investment trade. And India lost all three disputes and has to pay a total of 1.2 billion, okay, USD in damages. How much? 1.2 billion US dollar, okay, US dollar related to damage. So what was the outcome of international tribunal arbitration? You'll have to keep in the mind outcome of international tribunal arbitration. So due to non-payment of compensation by the Indian government, French court has recently, that means last month, ordered the freezing of Indian government property in Paris and to enforce a 1.3 billion arbitration award. Okay, $1.3 billion arbitration award. A similar judgment has also been passed by a Canadian court. So what is the arbitration scenario in India? Because friend, the Supreme Court has upheld the National Company Law Appellate Tribunals ordered to wind up Devas Multimedia, and it has also upheld the liquidation of Devas Multimedia and said the contention of antics that fraud had happened stood established. And these tribunals directed the winding up of Devas Multimedia and appointed a provisional liquidator of the purpose. Okay, of the purpose. So basically, for the police examination, you will have to keep in the mind ki, what is the Antrix Corporation Limited. Let's discuss about the Antrix Corporation Limited. Just a minute. Antrix Corporation Limited. What is the Antrix Corporation Limited? This is very, very important. Basically, friends, it is a Bengaluru based, okay, and Antrix Corporation. Bengaluru is a wholly owned government of India company under the administrative control of the Department of Space. So Antrix Corporation of Limited comes under Department of Space. Department of Space. Okay, and this is the Indian government company, and it was incorporated as a private limited company owned by the government of India in September 1992. In September 1992. September 1992. So please try to understand. Okay, please try to understand. And it is a marketing arm of ISRO. What is Antrix? Antrix is a marketing arm, commercial arm. Okay, marketing arm of ISRO. Marketing arm of ISRO. So please keep in the mind, this is very, very important. This is very, very important. Okay, and also you can say ki it is a marketing arm of ISRO for promotion and commercial exploitation of space products, technical consultancy services, and transfer of technology developed by ISRO. And another major objective is to facilitate the development of space related industrial capabilities in India. Okay, I do not want to go in this detail, okay, because this is not so much important, but you'll have to keep in the mind that this is very, very important, and you should know about this fact. Okay, you should know about this fact, and also you'll have to keep in the mind related to the important facts. So we have discussed the Supreme Court dismissal related to Devas. Now, I should just a minute. So we have discussed about Supreme Court dismissal to Devas. Now let's come to the, this is not so much important topic for us. Okay, you can go through it. Yeah, important topic is reciprocal exchange of logistic agreement, roadmap to India's strategic access in Arctic. And this is very, very important topic for us, and you'll have to keep in the mind. So first of all, let's discuss why this topic is important, and this topic is related to international relation and the context. Several issues of mutual interest were discussed during the India's Russia annual meet, but the agreement on an important reciprocal exchange of logistic agreement could not be reached. जो हमारे रशिया और इंडिया के बीच होना चाहिए था रेसिप्रोकल एक्सचेंज ऑफ लॉजिस्टिक, ओके, वो नहीं हो पाया. सो ये RELOS, दैट मींस की रेसिप्रोकल एक्सचेंज ऑफ लॉजिस्टिक एग्रीमेंट है क्या? सो RELOS, दैट मींस रेसिप्रोकल एक्सचेंज ऑफ लॉजिस्टिक, remains to be a crucial agreement between India and Russia, as both the countries plan to increase their bilateral investment in Arctic region and Russian Far East region. What? Arctic region and Russian Far East region. Okay, so please keep in the mind. And what is the background? So we should know about the Arctic region. Okay, this is very, very important for police examination. So Arctic is a polar region located at the northernmost part of Earth. Northernmost part of Earth. You know na ki let's take example. Just a minute. Wait. Okay. 0 degree. As you know, this is equator. Then 0 to 5 degree north, 0 to 5 degree or 0 to 10 degree also. Okay, 5 degree north or 5 degree south, and this is horse latitudes. Okay, horse latitude. Then in a north, what, there is a 23.5 degree in a north, there is Tropic of Cancer, and 23.5 degree in south, what, Tropic of Capricorn. Okay, Tropic of Capricorn. And then these points, last point, okay, 90 degree north. What is 90 degree north? Also we can say okay, this is Arctic. Okay, Arctic. And 90 degree south, 90 degree south, this is Antarctic. Okay, this is Antarctic. So please keep in the mind. So Arctic region, a polar region, and both region, that is 90 degree north, 90 degree south. Okay, 90 degree north or 90 degree south, these are the polar region. And Arctic is a polar region located at the northernmost part of the earth. And the Arctic consists the Arctic Ocean, adjacent sea, and parts of Alaska. Alaska means United States, Canada, Finland, Greenland, also you can say Denmark, Iceland, Norway, Russia, and Sweden. And land within the Arctic region has seasonally varying snow and ice cover. Snow and ice cover. Okay. So what are the you can say ecological impact of warming of Arctic region? Let's take example ना, कह सकते हैं ना कि अगर आर्कटिक रीजन अगर आपका गर्म होता है तो उसका क्या इम्पैक्ट हो सकता है. So first of all, there will be rising sea levels. What? Rising sea levels. So the loss of ice and the warming waters affects sea levels and salinity levels and current and precipitation patterns. Then next is deterioration of tundra. Okay, tundra is a vegetation. And tundra vegetation can found on Arctic and Antarctic region. And the tundra is returning to swamp, and the permafrost is thawing, and sudden storms are ravaging coastlines, and wildlife are devastating interior Canada and Russia. So आपका जो आर्कटिक रीजन का अगर आपका वार्मिंग होता है तो उसके पर क्या हो सकता है? उसके पर सबसे पहले आपका सी लेवल का जो आपका लेवल्स है वो इंक्रीज हो सकता है. जो टुंड्रा में आपके वेजिटेशन है उसका नुकसान हो सकता है. टुंड्रा मतलब आर्कटिक या अंटार्कटिक रीजन की अगर हम लोग बात करते हैं तो उसके जो वेजिटेशन है उसके क्या हो सकता है, आपका नुकसान हो सकता है. एंड देन अगर आप बात करोगे एक्सटिंक्शन ऑफ इंडिजीनियस कल्चर्स. व्हाट? एक्सटिंक्शन ऑफ इंडिजीनियस कल्चर. So what is the meaning of this? Basically, the Arctic is also home to about 40 different indigenous groups and whose culture, economic and way of life is in danger of being swept away. तो इंडिजीनियस जो संस्कृति है, जो कल्चर है, उसका नुकसान हो सकता है. बेसिकली जो आर्कटिक है उसमें आपके 40 डिफरेंट इंडिजीनियस ग्रुप्स हैं. इंक्रीजिंग ह्यूमन इंक्रोचमेंट, आपका क्या हो सकता है, ह्यूमन का जो इंक्रोचमेंट है वो आपका इंक्रीज हो सकता है. And with its attendant stresses will only aggravate this impact and upset a fragile ecological balance. That means due to human encroachment, okay, the you can say environment of Arctic region can impact. Environment of Arctic region can impact. So what are the commercial importance of the Arctic region? You will have to keep in the mind, because friends, there is abundant resources. Okay, abundant resources. The opening of the Arctic presents huge commercial and economical opportunities. जो आपका अगर आर्कटिक की बात करते हैं वहां पे आपके बहुत ज्यादा कमर्शियल इकोनॉमिकल अपॉर्चुनिटीज हैं. पर्टिकुलरली बात करें तो शिपिंग में, एनर्जी में, फिशरीज में, मिनरल रिसोर्सेज में. And Arctic is also very, very important for the commercial navigation. Arctic is also important for the commercial navigation. Commercial navigation. Okay. So the northern sea route, you know, ki northern sea route, there is northern sea route. What? Northern sea route. It is a shipping lane connecting the North Atlantic to the North Pacific through a short polar arc which could revolutionize the prospects of trade in Russia and Scandinavian countries. and it is approximately 40% shorter than Suez Canal route and 60% shorter the Cape of Good Hope. And friends, Arctic also you can say North Sea route would cause substantial reduction in transportation time, fuel consumption, uh, limited environment emission, and eliminate privacy risk. And this is also important related to oil and natural gas deposit. What oil and natural gas deposit? Oil and natural gas deposit. So estimated to be 22% of the world's unexplored resources. How many? 22% of the world's unexplored resources, mostly in the Arctic Ocean. And it will be open to access along with the mineral deposit, including 25% of the global reserve of rare earths, and it is buried in Greenland. It is buried in Greenland. Okay. So what is the India's interest in the Arctic region? We should discuss. What are the interest? Anyone, can you tell me what is the India's interest in Arctic region? कोई बता सकता है कि इंडिया का क्या इंटरेस्ट है आर्कटिक रीजन में? So we have discussed this thing. Okay. So anyone, can you tell me the Arctic importance for India? इंडिया के लिए क्या इंपोर्टेंस हो सकता है आर्कटिक का? नो वन. ओके. सो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल इन्वायरमेंटल इंटरेस्ट, जो आपका पहले अगर आप बात करोगे तो वो है आपका इन्वायरमेंटल इंटरेस्ट. जो आपका पहला क्या आएगा? इन्वायरमेंटल इंटरेस्ट. सो प्लीज कीप इन द माइंड. सो इंडियाज एक्सटेंसिव कोस्ट लाइन, ओके, कोस्ट लाइन makes it also you can say na ki vulnerable to the impact of the Arctic warming on ocean currents, weather patterns, fisheries, and most importantly the monsoon. And Arctic research will help India's scientific community to study melting rates of Himalayan glacier, and which are endowed with the largest freshwater reserve in the world outside the geographic pools. And then second interest is scientific interest. Second is scientific interest or scientific benefit. So what are the scientific benefits? Research station. India launched its first scientific expedition to the Arctic in 2007 and set up a research station. What? Himadri. Please keep in the mind. Himadri. Okay. Himadri in the International Arctic Research Base at also you can say in there was Svalbard, Norway. And India has two other observations in Kongsfjorden and Grube, okay, Grube, Badet in Norway. And studying Himalayan glacier, okay, this is very, very important. Ki scientific research in Arctic development, in which India has a good record, will contribute to its understanding of climatic change in the third pole, that means ki Himalaya, third pole, that means ki Himalaya. And there is also strategic interest. Second is strategic interest. Okay. So what are the strategic interest? We can say na ki countering Chinese influence. India can counter Chinese influence. So basically the strategic implication of an active China in the Arctic and its growing economy and strategic relationship with Russia are self-evident and need close monitoring. And then Arctic Council membership. So since 2013, India has had observer status in Arctic Council, and which is the predominant intergovernmental forum for cooperation on the environmental and development aspects of the Arctic. Okay. So we have discussed about the, you can say, significant or India's interest in Arctic region due to environmental interest, scientific interest, strategic interest. So we should know okay, what is the meaning of RELOS, Reciprocal Exchange of Logistic Agreement. So we can see okay, it is a long-awaited administrative agreement that would enable the militaries of both the countries, that means India and Russia, to access logistic and support facilities at each other bases and ports. And RELOS, that means reciprocal exchange of logistic management, would facilitate the replenishment of fuel, rations, spare parts, and berthing for troops, warship, and aircrafts while operating away from home ports and bases during the war and peacetime mission. And the reciprocal exchange of logistic agreement would further ensure smooth use of the host nation existing logistic network, and which would reduce the overall cost of the mission and provide a strategic strategic aid to each other's military operation. Okay, so what are the significance for India? Okay, so India has signed military logistic agreement with several countries in the past, and these includes the India-US Logistic Exchange Memorandum Agreement (LEMOA). Okay, LEMOA with USA, America. Okay, LEMOA. That means India-US Logistic Exchange Memorandum of Agreement, India-Japan Acquisition and Cross Service Agreement (ACSA). Okay, ACSA you'll have to keep in the mind. So ACSA with Japan, ACSA with Japan. This is also very, very important. And India-Australia Mutual Logistics Support Agreement (MLSA). Okay, MLSA, MLSA with Australia, So basically, India has, okay, we can say military exchange agreement with Quads group, military exchange with a Quad group. And apart from this, India maintains such military logistic agreement with France, Singapore, South Korea, and it is currently in the process of finalizing such an agreement with United Kingdom and Vietnam also. So what are the significances for the India? Okay, basically India's interest in the Arctic region we have discussed. Then also you can say India can become an emerging shipping connectivity, and also we can say the Arctic sea ice along with the Russian coast is receding drastically, and the northern sea route is humming with shipping activity that is significantly increasing annually. And India has openly called for supporting the Russian vision of developing the North Sea route. Okay, and also there is a point related to the strategic counterweight. No need to go in this detail, but you'll have to keep in the mind RELOS. So RELOS is related to the Russia, that is reciprocal exchange of logistic agreement. And then LEMOA means logistic exchange management of agreement with America. Then ACSA, India, Japan. Okay, acquisition and cross service agreement with Japan. And MLSA, India, Australia Mutual Logistics Support Agreement. Okay, so please keep in the mind, this is very, very important for your mains examination and also for your prelims examination. So we have discussed these points. Now we should discuss a new topic, and new topic is also very, very important. Okay, let's discuss the next topic, and next topic is related to RCEP, Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership. So revisiting the RCEP, world's largest trade pact. Okay, world's largest trade pact. This topic is related to the international relation and the regional. What is the context? The Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership officially came into effect on the first day of the new year, and even without India, which virtually at the last moment developed cold, feel and refused to join the 15-nation trade pact, and it is the world's largest FTA, that means की free trade agreement. So RCP क्या है? आपका एक वर्ल्ड का लार्जेस्ट फ्री ट्रेड एग्रीमेंट है. अगर आप बैकग्राउंड की बात करोगे तो आरसीपी जो है वो आपका प्रपोज हुआ था 19th एशियन मीट जो नवंबर 2011 में हुआ था. 19th okay एशियन मीट एसोसिएशन ऑफ साउथ ईस्ट एशिया नेशन इन 2000. also we can say na कि RCP was 2011. Okay, please keep in the mind. What was the aim? Aim to create a consolidated market for the 10 member countries and their trade partners. A negotiation to chart out this deal had been on since 2013, and India was expected to be a signatory until its decision last November. And 4th November 2019, India decided to exit discussion over significant outstanding issues. And India had been consistently raising fundamental issues and concern throughout the negotiation, and was prompted to take this stand as they had not been resolved by the deadline to commit to signing the deal. Basically, India जो है आपका आरसीपी का मेंबर नहीं बनना चाहता, उससे इंडिया को फायदा कम नुकसान ज्यादा हो सकता है इंटरनेशनल रिलेशन में. ओके, प्लीज ये ध्यान में रखिएगा. And its decision was, that means India's decision was to safeguard the interest of industries like agriculture and dairy, and to give an advantage to the country's service sector. And the current structure of regional comprehensive economic partnership still does not address these issues and concern related to the agriculture, related to dairy mill. Okay. So for our examination, we'll have to know what is the meaning of RCEP. Okay, what is the meaning of RCEP? So you can see here, okay, RCEP described as the largest regional trading agreement to this day, and it was originally being negotiated between the 16 countries, ASEAN members, and countries with which they have free trade agreement: Australia, China, Korea, Japan, New Zealand, and India. And RCP is essentially a China-led initiative for a regional trading bloc that will comprise 1/3 of the world's population and 29% of the world GDP. And the purpose of regional comprehensive economic partnership was to make it easier for products and services of each of these countries to be available across this region. And the purpose of this RCEP is to give preferential treatment for trade between the member countries, either through lower tariffs, preferential market access, customs unions, and free trade in a specific sector. So how big is it in size? We'll have to keep in the mind. RCEP is the world's largest free trade agreement. मैंने आपको बताया कि ये पूरी दुनिया का जो जो अगर हम लोग बात करते हैं बाजार का सबसे बड़ा एक एग्रीमेंट है, and it covers a market of 2.3 billion portion. How many? 2.3 billion portion. 2.3 billion portion. Okay. And 30% of the global population. How much? 30% of the global population. 30% global population. And with an annual output of 26 trillion US dollar and 25% of the world's export. How much? 25% of the world export. Okay, please, 1/4 of the world. And then also you can say that it's that means RCP puts its way ahead in size of the comprehensive agreement for Trans-Pacific Partnership, and which became operational in December 2018 and has the United States in it, China, Japan, Australia, and a number of other associations of Southeast Asian nations. Countries who are in the RCP are also its members. That means ASEAN members. So what categories are covered in this deal, or you'll have to keep in the mind. So deal is extensive across 16 categories, and these cover conventional items such as tariff reduction on goods and services, market access, investment, then dispute settlement, customs and rituals of origins, and newer items such as intellectual property rights, small and medium enterprises, and e-commerce. So you will have to understand, ये जानना होगा कि इंडिया ने ये जो डील जो था इस आरसीपी का, उससे अपने आप को बाहर क्यों रखा? Why did India opt out of the deal? You'll have to keep in the mind. Okay, why India opt out of the deal? Since the beginning of regional comprehensive economic partnership presented, also you can say, it presented a platform to India to further its strategic and economic status in the Asia Pacific region. Since it brought the biggest economies of the region into a trading arrangement for the first time, and India felt it would be a singular opportunity to enhance its export of the region. And basically, friends, India also did not secure the kinds of benefits it had hoped, okay, for in the service sector. जैसे भारत ने चाहा था कि उसे सर्विस सेक्टर में जो आपका मौका मिलेगा एक्सपोर्ट करने के लिए, वो वैसा मिला नहीं. And also there is a China factor. China का भी फैक्टर है कि इस कलेक्टिंग टेंशन विथ चाइना आर अ मेजर रीजन फॉर इंडियाज डिसीजन. इसलिए इंडिया जो अपने आप को बाहर रखा. And while China participation in the deal had already been providing difficult for India due to various economic threats, the clash at Galwan Valley has showed relation between the two countries. Okay, but we have discussed why India did also why did India opt out of the deal. We'll have to know how RCP is beneficial. How beneficial is RCP? First, there will be, you can say, increase in income. Okay, by 2030, RCP will increase the income of member economy by 0.6% while adding $245 billion and 2.8 million jobs to the regional economy. So increase in jobs, also you can say, yeah, increase in economy, increase in economy, yeah, increase in income, greater cooperation. Second point, greater cooperation. What? Greater cooperation. So it also stands to promote greater regional cooperation in trade and investment, addressing regulatory issues to ease cross-border movements, इंक्रीज इन रीजनल इन्वेस्टमेंट, जो क्षेत्रीय निवेश होगा उसमें बढ़ावा दे सकता है, इंक्रीज इन रीजनल इन्वेस्टमेंट. व्हाट? इंक्रीज इन रीजनल इन्वेस्टमेंट. Regional investment may increase further as RCEP prohibits performance requirements such as a specific percentage of the domestic current or requirement or technology transfer, and it being placed on investor as a condition for market access, and locks in future easing of measures and thus lowering risk of backtracking. And it will be also beneficial for digital economy. Digital economy. What? Digital economy. So RCEP, Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, takes a pragmatic approach to the digital economy, and it is a sector that rose in importance during the course of the pandemic. Okay, course of the pandemic. So we have discussed about the RCEP. Now you'll have to prepare two important topics. Which topic? I'm giving you ASEAN, Association of Southeast Asian Nation, and also try to complete the SARC, South Asian Association of Regional South Asian Association of Regional Commission. So please keep in the mind, cooperation, sorry, not commission, cooperation. So we have discussed the RCEP. Now we'll have to move ahead and we'll have to discuss most important topic, and the topic is related to the feminization of the international relation. What? Feminization of the foreign policy. So closer, and the topic is, just a minute, topic is a closer look into feminist foreign policy in India. This is very, very important for your upcoming examination. This topic is related to international relation. Context: India's commitment to international agreement towards gender equality, so it's a tremendous potential to make a crucial advance in feminist foreign policy. But friend, there are remaining gaps that India need to fix in order to realize its full potential. What is the background? We have seen now, that during the last couple of years, several countries around the globe have gained traction in terms of the merits and efficacy of the feminist foreign policy. And analyzing a little deeper reveals a very interesting aspect of it, which is how it gets influenced by the context in, okay, which it is discussed. So we shall be discussing how an ideal definition of feminist foreign policy in the Indian context could be, and be instrumental in bringing reforms. Okay. So what are the developments of feminist foreign policy frameworks you will have to keep in the mind development of the feminist foreign policy framework. So let's discuss. Friend, it took shape with Sweden's adoption of a feminist foreign policy in 2014. And after the Sweden's initiative, after several countries have announced gender mainstreaming in the foreign policy. Gender mainstreaming in the foreign policy. And feminist supporters of feminist approach to international affairs can be tracked back to 1980s and though largely rooted in traditional thinking and activisms. Okay, but the scenario changed, and the scenario started changing in 1990s with the realization that it is not only necessary to include women in peace building and peacekeeping, but also in wider gamut of diplomacy and foreign and security policy. Foreign and security policy. And feminist foreign policy builds on three, please keep in the mind, three central principles of feminist perspectives on diplomatic and security. What are the three? So first, broadening the understanding of security. Second, decoding internal power relation. And third, acknowledging women's political agency. Acknowledging women's political agency. And since Sweden, I told you in 2014, so since Sweden embarked on this path, several other countries just like Canada, France, Germany, and more recently Mexico have forced their own and adopting either a feminist foreign policy or a gender approach to aspects of policy making. So what are the demerits of generalizing the concept of the, you can say na ki feminist foreign policy? You will have to keep in the mind demerit. Okay, so what are the demerits? So they are merits in the conceptualization of the approach, how we look at the feminist foreign policy, but at the same time deriving a universal definition also narrow the scope of its applicability. Scope of its applicability. That means the mindset of the various countries. Okay, and basically you can say mindset of the various countries based on the patrilineal society. And in order for foreign policy to thus be feminist in nature, social, political landscape and lived experience of each country need to be taken into consideration. So first of all, yes, we can adopt a female feminist, also you can say feminist foreign policy. But for the betterment of the female, you will have to work, you will have to do, that means unique work for the betterment of the female. So first of all, you will have to strengthen our female, and then we will talk about the female, okay, foreign policy. And Sweden is the developed country. Yes, Sweden is one of the most important country, okay, but it is not possible in India. So basically, there are also demerits of the female feminist foreign policy, okay. So what are the dismantling feminist foreign policy? We should know dismantling. What are the dismantling feminist foreign policy? Basically, friends, as I have discussed, the idea of feminist foreign policy needs to be personalized and tailored according to the specific political needs and background of each country. अगर आप बात करते हो कि फीमेल का जो आपका फॉरेन पॉलिसी में जो योगदान होना चाहिए, उससे पहले हमें क्या करना होगा, उसे पर्सनलाइज करना होगा, बैकग्राउंड ऑफ जो सभी देशों का बैकग्राउंड है उसे देखना होगा. और इससे हम लोग कह सकते हैं क्या हो सकता है कि इंडिया अपना डेफिनेशन भी बना सकता है. इंडिया क्या दूसरा कंट्री भी बना सकता है अगर हम अपने जरूरतों को समझे, हम अपने जरूरतों को इस हिसाब से समझे कि हमारे लिए क्या जरूरत है, उसमें फीमेल के क्या रोल होना चाहिए, क्या आपका कंट्रीब्यूशन होना चाहिए, कैसे फीमेल पार्टिसिपेट कर सकती है. आफ्टर दैट वी कैन डू फॉर betterment of our female, okay. And also we can say an ideal way of evolving the definition of feminist foreign policy involves dissecting the terms into feminist and foreign policy and digging deeper into in the light of Indian political attitudes and opinions. And there should be feminist perspectives, okay. First of all, there should be feminist perspectives. Feminist perspectives. This is very, very important. Okay, what families' perspectives? So it deals families' perspectives deals with the dominating power structure that create policies benefiting a limited set of people, and it seeks to challenge systems of oppression, marginalization, and exclusion that perpetuate inequality. And there should be foreign policy perspective. This is also important. What there should be foreign policy perspectives. Foreign policy perspectives. Foreign policy perspectives. So it is more than how countries interact with another. Foreign policy perspectives takes into account how distinctive political culture and school of thoughts merge together for the larger good of society. Okay. And there is also dimension of feminist foreign policy in India, and that means in Indian context. So what deconstruction of power structure, that means ending gender essential standards, then involvement of women and focus towards ensuring equality, that means equal representation of women, ending the idea of foreign policy being a male dominated field, roles open to women remain highly genders, human security school of thought, that means they should be securing peace, enhance accessibility to basic human rights, a specific allocation of resources to realize the outcomes. Okay. And if you'll talk about the gender in India's foreign policy, on paper, India's commitment towards gender equality seems highly impressive. And ironically, in the recent released World Economic Forum's Gender Gap Report 2021, India had slipped 28 spots to rank 140 out of the 156 countries. Okay, so please keep in the mind. But there is also lots of examples: 73rd Constitution Amendment, 74th Constitution Amendment. Okay, the ratification of the Convention of the Elimination of Discrimination Against Women. So these are the also important points. And there's also, you can say ki there's Women, Peace and Security, WPS. Okay, Women, Peace and Security, WPS. And here's 4 pillars of WPS. WPS also, you can say, it comes under the United Security Council, and it was initiated in 2004. So WPS agenda rests on 4 pillars. First, prevention, participation, protection. Prevention, participation, and third, protection, तीसरा सुरक्षा, एंड जो आपका लास्ट है रिलीफ एंड रिकवरी, फोर्थ relief and recovery. What? Relief and recovery. So the Women, Peace and Security agenda was formally initiated by the landmark United Security Council in 2000, and the WPS, that is Women, Peace and Security agenda, rests on 4 pillars: prevention of conflict and all forms of violence against women and girls in conflict and post-conflict situation; participation, women's equal participation and gender equality in peace and security decision making processing at all levels; then protection, women and girls are protected from all forms of sexual and gender based violence, and their rights are protected and promoted in conflict situation; and the last, relief and recovery. So specific relief needs of women are met, and their capacities to act as an agent in relief and recovery are strengthened in conflict and post-conflict situation. Okay, so please keep in the mind. And also, friends, there is a gap. Okay, and gap need to be filled. So first of all, action being determined by political consideration, then patriarchal thought should be changed. So please keep in the mind. You know, हम लोग क्या कहते हैं, एक चीज याद रखिएगा, अपने एक मार्गरेट वॉलस्ट्रेम, फॉर्मर डिप्टी प्राइम मिनिस्टर और फॉर्मर मिनिस्टर ऑफ फॉरेन अफेयर्स ऑफ स्वीडन, वो कहती है कि मोर वुमेन मीन्स मोर पीस. If a women are around the table when peace deals are negotiated, then those peace agreement will last longer. Okay, more women means more peace, and if a women are around the table, okay, when peace deals are negotiated, then those peace agreement will last longer. So now, it is the time for the mains question. Okay, and you'll have to write. So, are you ready for mains answer? How many of you are ready for the mains answer? I will give the topic related to the women's. An easy topic. Swagitka, okay, you are ready. Jayasree, Priyadarshini, और कोई नहीं? And no one. You know, we have discussed now closer look into the feminist foreign policy in India. And we have discussed everything related to how female can be, you can say, good for the foreign policy. And we have discussed the statements of Sweden's former minister. Okay. So now I'm going to give you, please try to write the question. Question is, what are the challenges for women in Indian society and how to tackle with it? Question, what are the challenges for women in Indian society and how can we tackle with the challenges related to women in India? What are the challenges for women in Indian society and how can we tackle with the challenges for women in India? Question is clear? Anyone, do you have doubt related to the question?
Yes, sir. Will you please repeat?
Question, what are the challenges?
Sir, repeat the question.
What are the challenges ahead of women in India and how can we tackle this situation? How can we tackle the, you can say, challenges for the women in India? Same question.
Sir, how can we?
Tackle the challenges of women in India. So 250 words and try to write, and you have 12 minutes. Okay, 250 words, 12 minutes, and after that I'll join. Okay, and please don't go anywhere. And after this I will discuss the Assam Meghalaya border, okay, dispute, and one of the most important topic for the prelims. And in Assam Meghalaya border dispute also, you can say like the northeastern region is very, very important for the UPSC, and also you can say for state services. And in this topic I will also discuss the various states disputes, that means border disputes. Okay, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Bihar, UP, Haryana, Punjab, everything I will try to cover. So please try to write 250 words, and you can forward me, I told you. Okay, and please try to complete within 12 to 30 minutes. So thank you so much, and please don't go anywhere. I'll join within 12 minutes or 10 minutes. So also you can forward me and I will evaluate, and after that I will give you the feedback. So now let's move ahead and try to complete. Okay, because time is over, and let's move ahead and let's discuss a new topic. And the new topic is one of the most important topic for your prelims examination: Assam Meghalaya border row. That means Assam Meghalaya border dispute. Assam Meghalaya border dispute. This is very, very important. So basically, first of all, you'll have to keep in the mind what is the context. Okay. So a roadmap for amicable settlement of the border border issues has been prepared with representative from both states of Assam and Meghalaya. असम मेघालय का जो बॉर्डर डिस्प्यूट है उसको सॉल्व करने के लिए दोनों राज्यों से रिप्रेजेंटेटिव जो है भाग लिए और उन्होंने अपना पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू रखा. बट वी शुड नो ना कि व्हाट इज द बैकग्राउंड, दैट मीन्स कि आपका जो क्या कहते हैं पृष्ठभूमि क्या है. सो अगर आप बैकग्राउंड की बात करते हो कि इन बिड टू रिजॉल्व द लॉन्ग स्टैंडिंग इंटरस्टेट बाउंड्री डिस्प्यूट, चीफ मिनिस्टर ऑफ द टू स्टेट्स Assam and Meghalaya had met in December last year and decided to resolve the issue over 6 of the 12 areas. जो आपके बेसिकली अगर असम मेघालय की बात करते हो बहुत सारे एरिया, 6 से 12 एरिया में जो आप 12 एरिया में डिस्प्यूट है, उसमें से दोनों जो चीफ मिनिस्टर राजीव है कि हम 6 एरिया में से रिजॉल्व करते हैं. And 6 of the 12 areas of differences have been identified for resolution in the first phase. And the area of difference is taken up for final settlement. No need to remember. Hahim, H-A-H-I-M, then Jijang, G-I-Z-A-N-G, then Tarawari, then Boklapara, then Khanapara, okay, and then Pilinkata and Rachachira, okay. And Assam has border tension with neighboring Nagaland, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Arunachal Pradesh, and efforts to resolve the dispute with the three other states are also underway. असम की अगर आप बात करते हो ना, असम जो है उसके बहुत सारे जो पड़ोसी राज्य उसके साथ आपका डिस्प्यूट्स है, नागालैंड के साथ है, मेघालय के साथ है, मिजोरम के साथ है, अरुणाचल प्रदेश के साथ है। तो असम इन सभी के साथ जो है अपने बॉर्डर डिस्प्यूट को सॉल्व करने की जो है कोशिश अपना कर रहा है। So what are the border, what are the disputes we should know, because this is very very important. So 884 kilometer Assam Meghalaya boundary witnessed flare-ups frequently. But the worst ever violence along the Assam Mizoram border was seen in July 2020 that left 6 Assam police personnel dead and nearly 100 civilians and security personnel of the two neighboring states injured. And the trouble between the states is due to conflicting interpretation of their territorial position. प्रॉब्लम क्या है ना कि असम, और अगर आप नॉर्थ ईस्टर्न की बात करते हो ना, तो है क्या वहां पे आप फॉरेस्ट का एरिया है और फिर रिवर का भी एरिया निकलता है, तो उसमें जो आपका बॉर्डर का जो डिमार्केटिंग हुआ है उसमें प्रॉब्लम है, वो क्लियर है ही नहीं, हम ये कह सकते हैं। एंड मेघालय जो है एक समय आपका असम का पार्ट था, मेघालय वाज अ पार्ट ऑफ असम बिफोर एटेरिंग स्टेट ऑन फर्स्ट 21 जनवरी 1972, इसका 50 इयर्स हुआ, ये भी आपको ध्यान रखना है। एंड दिस शेयर एन 884.9 किलोमीटर बॉर्डर एंड डिस्प्यूट स्टार्टेड आफ्टर द क्रिएशन ऑफ मेघालय। And there are at present 12 points of dispute along with the Meghalaya Assam border, covering an area of 2,765.14 square kilometer, and now 6 of the 12 areas have been taken for the final settlement. And while Mizoram says the boundary line is the one laid down in the Bengal Eastern Frontier Regulation Act of 1875, and Assam backs the 1933 demarcation. ये प्रॉब्लम है सबसे बड़ा, ओके। अगर टाइम होता तो उसमें पूरा मैप के थ्रू अगर मैं समझाता, लेकिन इतना आपको काफी है, इससे ज्यादा नहीं आपको समझना है। बट विल हैव टू नो ना कि मेजर इंटरस्टेट डिस्प्यूट इन इंडिया, यस वी हैव डिस्कस्ड अबाउट असम मेघालय, but we will have to keep in the mind major interstate dispute in India for the prelims examination. So let's discuss the major, okay, you can say major interstates, okay, border dispute in India, and this is very very important. You'll have to keep in the mind. You'll have to keep in the mind. Why you'll have to keep in the mind? Because this is very very important for a prelims examination. What? दिस इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, रियली मैं आपको कह सकता हूँ कि ये आपके प्रीलिम्स के एग्जामिनेशन के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट है। एंड आप सभी लोगों को ये चीजें जो है आपको ध्यान में रखना होगा कि कौन कौन से स्टेट के साथ आपके डिस्प्यूट्स हैं, क्या क्या डिस्प्यूट्स है, ये सब चीजें आपको पता होना चाहिए, ताकि सारे चीजें याद तो नहीं होगा बट आपको तो याद होना चाहिए ना कि कौन कौन से स्टेट के साथ सॉरी जो डिस्प्यूट्स है। चलिए तो मैं आपको बताता हूं, तो आप लोग यहाँ से देख सकते हो। फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल अगर आप बात करोगे असम नागालैंड बाउंड्री 434 किलोमीटर, एरिया ऑफ डिस्प्यूट जो है असम डिस्ट्रिक्ट ऑफ शिवसागर, जोरहट एंड गोलाघाट। गुजरात राजस्थान एरिया ऑफ डिस्प्यूट जो है मांगड़ हिल, लोकेटेड इन द बॉर्डर ऑफ द टू स्टेट्स। गुजरात claims half of the hill while Rajasthan claims entire hill is part of the Rajasthan. Karnataka Kerala area of district of Kasargod. Orissa West Bengal area of dispute 82 villages under Jaleshwar and Bhograi blocks in Balasore district. Arunachal Pradesh and Assam area of dispute. Arunachal Pradesh claims territory in Assam based on history, okay. Then others में जो है हिमाचल प्रदेश उत्तराखंड, हिमाचल प्रदेश contesting Uttarakhand over 6 places of Dehradun district adjoining its Simla district. Bihar and UP, the interstate boundary between Bihar and UP Pradesh continue to fluctuate due to the frequent change in the course of the river. Gandak River, Budhi Gandak River. I can tell you about the Bihar UP with the detail, okay, because I am from the Bihar. Haryana UP, like Haryana Uttar Pradesh, fluctuating boundary was sought to be solved in 1970, but issues are still not resolved. Haryana Punjab, Punjab and Haryana are locked over the transfer of Chandigarh to Punjab and part of the Fazilka sub-district of Punjab to Haryana. Orissa and Andhra Pradesh, between Orissa and Andhra Pradesh, the boundary dispute relates to the 63 village falling presently in Orissa, but neither government has asked for central intervention. Then Orissa and Jharkhand, similarly Orissa and Jharkhand have a boundary dispute relating to 7 villages of the Mayurbhanj and Kyojhar district. Orissa has claimed territories in the former princely states of Saraikela and Kherson, now in Jharkhand. Orissa and Chhattisgarh, Orissa is locked with the Chhattisgarh over 3 villages of Naupada district. And Orissa and West Bengal also still mated over 5 villages of Balasore and Mayurbhanj district of Orissa. बेसिकली ये सब डिस्प्यूट होता है क्या, एक डिस्प्यूट जो होता है आप देखोगे अगर, तो ऐसा एक समय था कि जब, जैसे कि अगर आप बात करो असम में बहुत सारे स्टेट जो है आपके आते थे, मेघालय हो, ये सब जो हो, ठीक है, ठीक वैसे ही बंगाल की अगर आप बात करो तो बंगाल में अगर आप देखोगे तो आपका कौन कौन सा इलाका आता था, अभी का जो बांग्लादेश, देन जो है बिहार, देन उड़ीसा, देन झारखंड, है ना। और फिर बाउंड्री की बात करोगे तो आपको पता ही होगा छत्तीसगढ़ पहले मध्य प्रदेश के साथ था, फिर हरियाणा पंजाब जो है एक ही था, तो इसी वजह से जो है आपका प्रॉब्लम आता है। उत्तराखंड यूपी पहले एक था, फिर उस समय भी हिमाचल प्रदेश के साथ जो है बाउंड्री डिस्प्यूट आपका हुआ करता था। एंड इसके बाद हमें ये भी डिस्कस करना चाहिए कि हाउ डज द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन डील विद द इंटर स्टेट डिस्प्यूट्स, बिकॉज मे बी यूपीएससी में आस्क, यूपीएससी ये सब नहीं पूछेगा किसके बीच क्या डिस्प्यूट है, यूपीएससी पूछेगा कि जो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन है कैसे वो आपका इंटर स्टेट डिस्प्यूट के साथ आपका डील करता है, कैसे उसको हैंडल करता है, यूपीएससी ये पूछेगा। यूपीएससी या स्टेट सर्विस की अगर आप बात करते हो तो ये चीजें आपको पता होना चाहिए। देखिएगा, सबसे पहले जब हमारा देश आजाद हुआ तो इंडिया में आपके ऑलमोस्ट 565, ये 5 एक्स्ट्रा 565 प्रिंसली स्टेट थे, जो कि आपके ब्रिटिश गवर्नमेंट के समय जो है आपका क्या हुआ था, उनका जो है ग्रोथ हुआ या उसको ब्रिटिश गवर्नमेंट के थ्रू जो है गवर्न किया जाता था। बट आफ्टर द स्टेट रिऑर्गेनाइजेशन कमीशन, दैट मीन्स की फजल अली कमीशन which was set up in 1953 and it submitted its report in 1955, and after that they were State Reorganization Act 1956, and after this होता क्या है आपका 14 स्टेट्स बनते हैं, 6 यूनियन टेरिटरीज बनते हैं। बट एट प्रेजेंट आप देखो 28 स्टेट्स है, 8 यूनियन टेरिटरीज है, टोटल जो है अगर हम लोग कहते हैं 36 एंटिटीज है। इसमें भी बहुत सारे एरिया जो डिमांड करे हमें स्टेटहुड का जो है आप रिकॉग्नाइज करो। एंड द ड्राफ्ट्समैन ऑफ इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन हैड एडेड grievously in ignoring the problem of interstate dispute, especially interstate boundaries. And the constitution make no provision for swift and binding decision of such dispute, but Article 262 is on the adjudication of dispute relating to water of interstate rivers of river valley, not related to land boundary disputes. And there is no comparable provision on disputes on land. I told you. Okay, so please keep in the mind, अपने इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में कोई भी क्लियर मेंशन नहीं है कि लैंड डिस्प्यूट को कैसे आपका सॉल्व किया जाए, कैसे आपका सॉल्व किया जाए। तो भाई इस प्रॉब्लम है, प्रॉब्लम को तो सॉल्व करना चाहिए। तो इसी बीच में कौन आता है, जब कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में कुछ क्लियरली मेंशन नहीं होगा तो कौन आएगा, तो आपको पता ही होगा कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट आएगा। और सुप्रीम कोर्ट आया, सुप्रीम कोर्ट जो है आर्टिकल 131 का यूज किया, उसके पास अपना सुप्रीम पावर्स है। हम लोग कह सकते हैं ना कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट जो है उसके पास एक सुप्रीम पावर होता है, उसको जो मन होगा वो कर सकता है। ये ध्यान में रखिएगा आप लोग, क्लियर कट, कि आप देखोगे यहाँ पे तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट के बारे में भी हम लोग बात कर ले तो आप बिटवीन स्टेट्स आर्टिकल 131 ये यूज करता है। एंड आर्टिकल 131 कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ऑफ इंडिया इज द सुप्रीम कोर्ट विद द ओरिजिनल जुरिस्डिक्शन। अगर आप बात करोगे तो बहुत सारे जुरिस्डिक्शन होते हैं, ओरिजिनल जुरिस्डिक्शन होता है, एपीलेट जुरिस्डिक्शन होता है, रिव्यूअल जुरिस्डिक्शन होता है, वो सब सुप्रीम कोर्ट की बात है। एंड or by any dispute arising between the states or between the center and states। अगर आपको मैं बता दूं कि अगर दो से अधिक स्टेट के बीच कोई डिस्प्यूट हो वो सुप्रीम कोर्ट के ओरिजिनल जुरिस्डिक्शन के अंतर्गत आता है। प्रेसिडेंट वाइस प्रेसिडेंट के इलेक्शन की अगर आप बात करें, प्रेसिडेंट वाइस प्रेसिडेंट के इलेक्शन की डिस्प्यूट से रिलेटेड बात करें, वो भी सुप्रीम कोर्ट के ओरिजिनल जुरिस्डिक्शन के बीच बात आता है। सेंटर स्टेट के रिलेशन की अगर कोई बात हो वो भी सुप्रीम कोर्ट के ओरिजिनल जुरिस्डिक्शन के बीच की बात जो है ये आता है। ये आप देख सकते हो, ये सारी चीजें मैंने आपको बता दिया। एंड उसके बाद अगर आप बात करोगे तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट अपने जो ओरिजिनल जुरिस्डिक्शन है उसी के बेसिस के ऊपर अपना क्या देता है, फैसला देता है। क्या देता है, फैसला देता है। एनीवन, डू यू हैव एनी डाउट? यस सिद्धार्थ।
सर ये जुरिस्डिक्शन क्या मतलब?
न्यायाधिकार क्षेत्र। सुप्रीम कोर्ट कहां कहां डिसीजन दे सकता है या सुप्रीम कोर्ट के पास कैसे कैसे केसेज आ सकते हैं। तो आप देखोगे दो या दो से अधिक राज्यों के बीच अगर कोई विवाद हो, अगर आप देखोगे कि जो सेंट्रल स्टेट के बीच कोई विवाद हो, या अगर आप देखो गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया या उससे एक अधिक राज्यों के बीच कोई विवाद हो, तो ये सारे केसेस सुप्रीम कोर्ट के विषय की बात है। ये हाई कोर्ट लोअर कोर्ट में नहीं जाएगा, ये डायरेक्ट सुप्रीम कोर्ट में जाएगा। क्लियर?
यस सर।
ओके, सो वी हैव डिस्कस नाउ। सो हम लोगों ने ये असम और मेघालय बॉर्डर के जो डिस्प्यूट है इसको भी मैंने आप लोग के साथ डिस्कस किया। और एक बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक जो मैं आप लोग के साथ डिस्कस करना चाहता हूं वो है आपका इंटर वाटर डिस्प्यूट इन इंडिया। इसके पहले एक और टॉपिक है, वो आप लोग खुद ही पढ़ सकते हो कि एमएलए सस्पेंशन डेंजर टू डेमोक्रेसी, सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने बोला है। दैट मीन्स कि यू विल हैव टू रीड अबाउट द एंटी डिफेक्शन लॉ, anti-defection law, okay, and basically you'll have to read about 52nd Constitution Amendment Act and 91st Constitution Amendment Act। आप इससे गो थ्रू होइएगा, कोई प्रॉब्लम तो पूछेगा। मैं ये डिस्कस करना चाहता हूँ इंटर वाटर डिस्प्यूट इन इंडिया, जो अभी हमारा बॉर्डर डिस्प्यूट था उसी को कंटिन्यू लेकर के। तो आप देखोगे कि जो इंटर वाटर डिस्प्यूट जो है एक बहुत ही बड़ा चैलेंज है अपने इंडिया में। और ये जो सिर्फ एक या दो स्टेट्स के बीच की बात नहीं है, बहुत सारे स्टेट्स के बीच जो प्रॉब्लम होता रहता है। एंड इंडिया के पास अगर आप बात करोगे तो 25 मेजर रिवर बेसिन है। ये ज्योग्राफी के भी पॉइंट हो जाएगा। इंडिया के पास एट प्रेजेंट 25 मेजर रिवर बेसिन है एंड विथ मोस्ट रिवर फ्लोइंग अक्रॉस स्टेट्स। लेकिन इंटर स्टेट रिवर की अगर आप बात करते तो उसे एक प्रॉब्लम भी जो है आपका होता है, क्योंकि बहुत सारे स्टेट के बीच जो निकलता है ये अपने इंडिया के रिपब्लिक को लेकर के जो है खतरा होता है। और रिसेंट सालों में बात करोगे तो इंक्रीजिंग वाटर स्कार्सिटी, वाटर का प्रॉब्लम होने लगा तो अर्बन एरिया में और खासकर अब तो रूरल एरिया में भी फ्रेश वाटर का भी प्रॉब्लम होने लगा। तो इससे क्या हुआ है, कॉन्फ्लिक्ट आपका बहुत बढ़ा है। तो वी शुड नो कि वाटर इन द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन कहां कहां मेंशन है अपने इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में वाटर से रिलेटेड बातें। चलिए मैं बताता हूं। तो देखोगे कि आपका एंट्री 7 ऑफ स्टेट लिस्ट, एज यू नो कि शेड्यूल 7 ओके talks about the list, and there are three types of the list: union list, state list, concurrent list. So entry 17 of the state list जो है वो आपका वाटर से रिलेटेड है, बिकॉज वाटर इज अ स्टेट सब्जेक्ट। Entry 17 of state list deal with the water supply, irrigation, canal, drainage, embankments, water storage, and water power. But entry 56 of union list gives powers to union government for the regulation and development of interstate rivers and river valleys to extent declared by the parliament to expedite in the public interest. And within India's federal political structure, interstate water dispute requires involvement of the union government for federal solution। लेकिन कब? दो लेवल पे, जब आपके दो या दो से अधिक राज्यों के बीच विवाद हो जाए या जब सेंट्रल स्टेट के बीच विवाद हो जाए। एंड वी हैव डिस्कस अबाउट द आर्टिकल 262 which talks about कि president has power to establish the interstate water dispute tribunals and being also states that means कि इंटरस्टेट वाटर डिस्प्यूट सेटअप हो सकता है आर्टिकल 262 के द्वारा प्रेसिडेंट के द्वारा, ताकि जो इंटरस्टेट वाटर डिस्प्यूट जो है उसको दूर किया जा सके। And under this provision, an Interwater Dispute Act 1956 and River Boards Act 1956 was also created. So this is related to the key water in constitution. Water in constitution. So what is clades water conflicts? You'll have to know कि अगर आप देखोगे कि वाटर के जो कॉन्फ्लिक्ट्स है उसे कौन कौन से रीजन जो आपका आगे बढ़ाता है, उसमें आता है लीगल एम्बिग्विटीज कि किसके अधिकार है नहीं है, एंटागोनिस्टिक पॉलिटिक्स जो लोकल लीडर जो बिना मतलब की बातें क्रिएट कर देते हैं, एंड ड्यू टू पॉलिटिकल इकोलॉजी ऑफ एसिमेट्रीज, ओके यू विल हैव टू आल्सो कीप इन द माइंड, देन अफेक्टेड इंटरेस्ट जो इंटरेस्ट वाटर डिस्प्यूट के होते हैं एक या एक से अधिक राज्यों के बीच, देन अनसस्टेनेबल यूज ऑफ वाटर जो वाटर का सही तरीके से यूज नहीं होता है, एंड लास्ट इंक्रीजिंग डिमांड, पॉल्यूशन एंड डिक्रीजिंग अवेबिलिटी, ये सब आपके कारण हो जाते हैं। अब जो मुझे डिस्कस करना है वो ये डिस्कस करना है, अच्छा एक चीज और, व्हाट प्रिवेंट्स एन इंटीग्रेटेड बेसिन लेवल इकोसिस्टम बेस्ड अप्रोच, हमें डिस्कस करना होगा कि एक इंटीग्रेटेड बेसिन लेवल इकोसिस्टम जो है उसको कौन प्रिवेंट करता है। तो शॉर्ट साइटनेस in technology, fragmented approach to governance, over reliance on structural engineering, and the center's lack of initiative. Now let's come to the four prelims examination, and now I'm going to discuss most important. You can see here ki interstate water river disputes and also tribunals. So tribunal, state concern, date of constitution and current status. Godavari water disputes tribunal and the states Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh, Odisha. It was constituted in 1969 April. A report and decision given in July 1980. कृष्णा वाटर डिस्प्यूट ट्रिब्यूनल फिर भी न्यूज में आता रहता है, महाराष्ट्र, आंध्र प्रदेश, कर्नाटक, सेम कॉन्स्टिट्यूटेड इन अप्रैल 1916 and give report in 1976. नर्मदा वाटर डिस्प्यूट ट्रिब्यूनल राजस्थान, मध्य प्रदेश, गुजरात, महाराष्ट्र, अक्टूबर 1969. Report and decision given in 1979. Narmada Control Authority was constituted to implement the decision. Ravi and Bias Water Tribunal states Punjab, Haryana, Rajasthan, April 1986. Date of constitution of the tribunal. Report and decision given in April 1987 and further report is pending. Okay. Kaveri water disputes, you will have to keep in the mind the states Kerala, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Puducherry. Krishna Water Disputes Tribunal 2, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Maharashtra, Telangana. And also, it was formed in 2004. Then, Vansadhar and Water Dispute Tribunal, Andhra Pradesh, Odisha. Mahadai Water Disputes, Goa, Karnataka, Maharashtra. Mahanandi Water Dispute, Chhattisgarh, Odisha. Chhattisgarh and Odisha. This is very, very important. So these are the water disputes in India, and these are the water tribunals in India. You'll have to keep in the mind. This is very, very important for your prelims examination. You will not have to remember the date. You will not have to remember the judgments. You will have to remember with you will have to remember only water disputes and the states. Let's take example: Kaveri water disputes, Kerala, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, and Puducherry. And this is also in news. So I told you. So please keep in the mind. Now, why is greater center state coordination essential? Because friends, they are whole set of region. Why coordination response from the center and state is vital. First, emerging concern of a long-term national water security and sustainability, and the risk of climate change, the growing environmental challenges, including river pollution, and then greater center states coordination is also crucial for pursuing the current national projects. Okay, so can the Supreme Court interfere? No, friends. Article 262, Clause 1 bars the jurisdiction of the Supreme Court, but matters are still being taken there on legal, jurisdictional, environmental, and constitutional issues. Okay, so we have discussed about the water, you can say na ki river water disputes, and this is very, very important. Please keep in the mind, and please go through these slides, and please try to you can say na ki revise. And friends, so basically we have discussed one of the most we have discussed important topics for the means. For prelims, you'll have to go through the slides, and the prelims you'll see कि प्रधानमंत्री Modi tributes to Tamil poet, okay, through Ballavur. Then Kathak legends Birju Maharaj passes away, so that means you'll have to go through the all ancient all classical dances. Then you'll have to remember, you can say, goat head yogini found underwater volcano near Tonga. Tonga is in frequent use. Lok Adalat is also important. Statehood of Manipur, Tripura and Meghalaya is also important. And then World Economic and Social Outlook report, trends to 2020 report, I have covered in slides. 5G and a flight safety I have covered. Decrease in eastern swamp deer population at Kaziranga National Park. Okay, so please keep in the mind, these are the important topics, and I have covered the discuss the topics for the mains, and you'll have to go through the you can say slides, and after that if you'll face any problem you can ask and I will join, okay, in upcoming classes. And but now let's come to this class. So do you have any problem related to any topic? If you have any problem, feel free to ask. Okay, I am giving you 2 or 3 minutes. If you have any problem, feel free to ask.